Okay, we're on Bikkurim, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Tet, 9th Mishnah in the first chapter of Bikkurim. This Mishnah is a continuation of the last Mishnah, in which we said that after you designate Bikkurim, if something happened to them, they were stolen, they were tummy, whatever, then you have to mevi acherim tachtem, you have to bring other Bikkurim instead. So our Mishnah is a continuation of that idea. It says the Mishnah, Uminayin shu chaya b'achariyutan ad shiyavi l'har habayit. How do you know that a person is obligated b'achariyut? Achariyut is responsibility, i.e., you have a responsibility to make sure, to achariyut is when you say, I have to take responsibility and I'll make sure that this debt is paid. So here you have an achariyut, you have an obligation to give the bikurim ad sheyavi l'har habayit. Because you could think, interestingly enough, you could think, say, well, I designated the bikurim, I tied the string as we're going to see, these are the bikurim, they're lost. Sorry God, you lost, what are you going to do? So how do we know that this achrayut, the obligation, is until yavi lahar habayit? Because remember we said, once you got it to har habayit, litma'u ba'azara, once it came to the azara and became tamei in the azara, then you scatter them out, you lose them. That we learned in the last Mishnah. But so that we see here that your responsibility is until har habayit, and once you get to har habayit, then you're no longer responsible. Shnei Amaretz, it says, Reshit bikurei admatcha tavi beit Hashem Elokecha. Reshit, the first fruits of the bikurim, tavi beit Hashem Elokecha. You have to bring to the house of Hashem your God. Milamei, that teaches us, shechaya ba'achayutam an sheyavi b'har habayit. You are obligated, you have a chiyuv achrayut, you have a responsibility until you actually bring them to the har habayit. Once you bring them to har habayit, if something happens to them, then you're no longer, once you bring them to the azara, once you bring them to the place where you're going to do the worship, then you're no longer have responsibility. You've done your responsibility, and therefore you don't have to bring any. You don't have to replace them if they're lost after that point. Says the Mishnah. Continuation. Hare shevi miminachad. This is a totally separate topic. Okay, so the girsa of hare is a little bit strange, but shevi miminachad vikara. Let's say I brought grapes, one species, and I did mikra bikurim. V'chazar v'hevi miminacher, and I came back and I brought for another min. Eino kore. I don't have to say mikra bikurim a second time. I only say mikra bikurim the first time. The Kahati says, and the Bartanura says, that this is based, if we look back on Mishnah Zayin, let's go back to Mishnah Zayin for a second. Okay, remember we said that if you sold your fruits, then somebody else doesn't bring the second min. Rabbi Yehuda says the second person can bring them with the first min, that the second person, if he brings the same bikurim from the same field that he brought, but it's his first fruits, he can also be mevi and koreh. So the Mishnah is coming here to tell you, the Bartanura says, that this second part that says, of course, according to the Tanna Kama in that case, I don't say mikra bikurim a second time. So the Mishnah says, the Bartanura says here, lo nitzricha le Rabbi Yehuda. This is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Even Rabbi Yehuda would agree in this case that if a person came a second time, he doesn't say mikra bikurim. The Amar le'el, he said before, magid v'chozer umagid. Right, that in the original case, right, back there he says magid v'chozer magid about two people. Kamash malan demod Rabbi Yehuda ba'adam echad eno magid v'chozer magid. So here we learn that in this Mishnah that Rabbi Yehuda would agree. This second part is according to Rabbi Yehuda. He would agree that one person who comes and does mikra bikurim, and then he brings his wheat a second time. The second time eno koreh. You don't go and say mikra bikurim twice in 1 year. We'll dedicate the learning here of this mission to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. If you want to reach me, as always, contact me at arspolter@gmail.com. Have a great day.